minimum access volume system, which is a feature of the World Trade Organization, is a system that allows, a minimum volume of a commodity that can be imported by a country at a lower tariff. There are growing calls to suspend it, and the DA is now considering it seriously to protect local producers. How will this impact inflation for consumers and our producers and, the players within this space? Will this do more harm than good? Let's ask our next guest, British Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Chris Nelson. Hi, Chris. Good morning and Happy Lunar New Year.
Good morning and a happy Chinese New Year to you and your viewers.
All right. So, Chris, just very quickly, there are two separate policies here. You've got the MAV and you've got Executive Order 5, which the president extended last year until December this year, meaning pork, rice, and corn will enjoy lower tariffs. That's 15% tariff for pork in quota, 25% for pork out quota. Are these two overlapping right now, the MAV and the EO5? And won't pork be somehow insulated from any suspension of the MAV as long as EO5 is there?
Well, obviously, we were very strong supporters and are of the extension of the executive order. We believe strongly that the allowing of pork to come in at the lower tariff rates is a help for inflation and food security. And in that context, we would not wish to see a suspension of MAV. I think, as we've discussed on previous programs, pork supply has been impacted locally, unfortunately, due to African swine flu, and there's definitely a need for further continue pork imports. And in fact, if you look at other people like the Foundation for Economic Freedom, they also stress the same points. Now, regard to suspending MAV, as you've correctly said, that actually links to WTO, and also I believe that we'd have to get the approval of the Tariff Commission. But I think overall here what we're seeing is we strongly believe in supporting the agricultural sector, and in that context, we do also reiterate the need to pass the Anti-Agricultural Economic Sabotage Act, which is a priority of the government. So in summary, Mimi, we believe they should continue with the lower tariffs as supported by the executive order, and that this is a key factor in helping with inflation and food security.
But so how much, if this MAV is suspended, what do you imagine? Have you pushed pencils and crunched the numbers to see what the actual impact could be? Because I know that the Philippines is the UK's second top pork export destination in Asia after China. I mean, what is the outlook on that number?
Well, look, next week, this week, we actually have Jonathan Eckley, who's the head of international development from the Agricultural Horticultural Development Board, which is the trade board that we deal with pork, which reiterates and reaffirms how important pork exports are from the UK to the Philippines. Now, of course, if MAV was suspended, and let me just stress again, they'd have to then look at their commitments with WTO and also Tariff Commission approval. That would, of course, pork could still be allowed in, but it's paying a higher duty level. And that is a time when all governments, and the Philippines has stated that in different aspects, wishes to fight inflation. That is why the president has extended, under the executive order, the lower tariff rate. That's why it occurred this year, and it also occurred last year. So while I can't give you a definitive number, clearly it would have an inflationary impact.
Because when you look at the bigger picture, UK-Philippine trade relations actually hit £3 billion. Total trade in goods and services, that's up 19%. We are your 59th largest trading partner in the 4 quarters to the end of Q3 2023. In the slowing economic environment that we're in, are you expecting us to be hitting record after record again when it comes to the size of trade that we do business between the UK and the Philippines? What's the outlook there?
Well, I'd say the outlook is still optimistic. As we had a recent webinar, which included the Secretary Perez of the Anti-Red Tape, Alan Getty of DTI, and our Ambassador Laura Beaufils. There's a great emphasis from the UK on the areas such as green energy, infrastructure, and also I'd just like to mention cybersecurity. We just had a visit from the new Trade Commissioner for Asia Pacific, Martin Kent, and now we saw him at a cybersecurity reception. And the UK has great expertise in that. They see the Philippines, the relationships are very strong. This is our 77-year of diplomatic relations. And that just reinforces the fact that the relationship continues to grow. Can it continue to grow with certain macroeconomic pressures across the world? That's always going to be a challenge. But the interest level of both parties, and let's not forget, we've also launched the Developing Countries Trading Scheme, which we believe will assist Philippine exports to the UK. So we hope, and we want to get our league table, if I use that word, up from 59 even higher.
That's great to know. I'm looking at your calendar of events. For February, you guys are focusing on ease of paying taxes. You've got travel talks happening on the 22nd this month, and concrete investments more on the infrastructure side. Chris, just very quickly, next month, we're going to meet again. We're going to see each other again. What do you think are we going to be talking about when we see each other in March?
Well, hopefully we're going to see development very quickly. I think we're going to see, obviously, update from the visit we're going to have this week. I'm hoping also to include our ambassadors, see what further focus coming up. On the travel talks, that's a very important one for us. And I'd just like to link it back to the comments, if I may say, on MAV, because the Foundation for Economic Freedom made the point that if you put up costs, this was also going to have an impact on restaurants, on the hotels. And tourism is a big factor. Let's not forget, we have 250,000 estimated Filipinos in the UK. Travel between the two countries has increased, and we want to continue to support that. And on the ease of paying taxes, we all know that everyone has to pay their taxes and support the government in their revenue issues matters, and that'll be done before the 15th of April. So I think a lot more developments are going to go ahead, and we look forward to communicating that next month.
All right, we'll see you next month then, Chris. Same time here on Market Edge. See you soon. Have a great week ahead.
And happy Chinese New Year to everybody again, to you and your viewers. Thank you.
Thank you.